Welcome back to Detroit's Morning Answer. You know, Metro Detroit families, get ready to brace for higher natural gas bills this winter. Some say it's inflation, others say it's regulation, and still others say it's utility companies passing costs onto the people who can least afford it. For households already stretched thin, this just isn't about comfort. It's about survival. Joining us today is Dayna Hottle. She's the general manager of CNC Heating and Air Conditioning right here in Detroit. She's a leader in the skilled trades and a passionate advocate for giving young people alternative and often more lucrative career paths that don't require a traditional college degree. Dayna also works with families every day who are caught between rising rates and aging HVAC systems. She's here to help us make sense of why bills are climbing, what policy has to do with it, and what we can all do before the cold sets in. Dayna, welcome back to Detroit's Morning Answer.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hey, I'm so happy you're here because I think this is an important subject matter that we're going to be discussing this morning. You know, Dayna, when you hear utility companies say rates are going up, what's really driving that? Do you think it's policy decisions? Is it infrastructure or just plain old profit?
You know, I think it's a mixture of everything. You know, there are rising costs that are happening in every industry these days, and so that's just natural that it's going to go up. And there can also be other factors that are underlying it. Who knows? But, you know, it's happening. So it's really how are we going to deal with it and have it least affect, you know, our consumers in the Metro Detroit area.
Yeah. And one thing about Michigan, man, you guys got some cold winters. It's a different kind of winter.
And they're saying it's supposed to be a really cold winter. The Farmer's Almanac is basically said cold, cold, cold. So who knows if it's actually going to happen, but you're right. It's cold here.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of families that are saying, you know, we're using a lot less energy. Why do bills keep going up? What's the honest answer?
Well, it's just those rising costs that, you know, are, like I said, we can't really see why it's going up, but it's happening and we just have to deal with it. So there's things that we can do to help offset some of those costs.
Now, I know a lot of the utilities. I used to sit on the the energy committee when I was a state rep, and I remember utilities coming to us and say, hey, we need to upgrade old pipes and improve safety. You work in HVAC. How important is it to have maintenance with the already built infrastructure, also looking forward to what needs to be fixed and improved? How important is that?
I mean, it's super important. I mean, really, we need to stay ahead of the time, and improving our infrastructure is one of those ways that we need to do it. I mean, I'm not buried into the energy side of it. I'm more on, the consumer side. Yeah. But, I mean, it's a part of what we have to do to make sure our state and our homeowners are protected and safe.
Right. See, I set you up because I wanted to talk about that because I wanted to bring it back home. But if somebody's listening right now and they're saying, oh, I got to prepare for this winter, and they want to lower their bill before the rates climb.
Yeah.
What's the single easiest thing they can do this week, like tomorrow, today, right now, as soon as they get off the phone?
Some of the simplest things is, have your furnace maintained. Just make sure that it's ready for the winter and that's running efficiently. Because, with furnaces, if it's not running at its best, it's gonna work harder and it's gonna use more gas to get it going. Changing your filter is just a simple way. It's that regular maintenance on that furnace, and then utilizing your thermostat. So making sure you have a programmable thermostat or a Wi-Fi thermostat, so you can set things so when you're not in the home, have it at a lower temperature, and then when you're ready to come home, have it go up so it can be comfortable. But you're not going to be utilizing your furnace.
Yeah.
All day, every day when you're not there.
You said changing the filter. Now, I get different opinions about what kind of filter to use. Use the thick ones, use the real thin ones where air can just free flow. What's the best filter that a person can change out when it's time to change the filter? What's the best filter to use?
We always advocate like the 4-inch media filters. So they're the wider filters because they help keep your system clean and then help prevent that wear and tear. on your furnace, and they're pretty simple. It's like you change it out once a year, where those 1-inch filters you're changing out once a month, and you know how easy it is when you don't see it every day to forget to change it. Yeah. So it's easy, less maintenance, more protection on your system, and then it doesn't have any, like, with electronic air cleaners, there's parts that can break. This is pretty simple, less maintenance, easy to change.
Yeah. I always, anytime I think about summer and winter, I always think about senior citizens and how often they feel stuck. They don't understand a lot of this stuff. What are a couple of changes they can make without spending a lot of money or needing a landlord's permission to fix or change something?
I mean, I guess really for that demographic, I mean, I always have regular maintenance on your furnace and air conditioner by a licensed contractor is huge. They'll be, they're going to be that point of contact that you have if something were to go wrong. And, usually with those programs, you get priority service. And then also, just making sure you're changing your filters regularly. If you notice something's off, to get someone out right away rather than waiting until, it breaks. Because usually there's some telltale signs that something's going wrong.
Yeah, tell us some of those telltale signs. What should people be looking for to know that something's not right, especially dealing with this Michigan brutal cold? Did I say how cold it gets in Michigan?
Yeah. Just airflow, isn't it, as it usually is? It seems it's not kicking on like it used to. I'm trying to think of, noise, like a sound. The furnace is making a different sound than you kind of have an idea of what things sound like in your home, and something just seems off. Noise is a telltale sign something's going on.
Yeah.
So just things like that.
Now, Dayna, I don't know if you could give us an answer to this. I was we had a caller earlier, and we were talking about, how so many investments have been placed in these efficient, and I'm throwing up air quotes, these efficient appliances, the furnaces, the smart thermostats, the new water heaters, yet the bills are still climbing. Why doesn't efficiency always equal savings?
Well, I think it's kind of deceiving when the rates are going up. So, you're investing in these efficient systems, or they're just, not utilizing them the right way. They're not programming them right, or, the blower speed on the blower isn't set right. So it's not actually doing the way it's not set up the way it's supposed to. So small things like that can kind of offset, like, what you think, it's just automatically going to do those things, and it's not. Or like the gas pressure on the gas valve isn't set right. So small things like that can cause your rate to be right. So if you notice something in your bill, then call the contractor that installed it. If it was a newly installed furnace, sometimes things can be set off, or they can kind of just not go right. So, call that contractor.
I had an HVAC guy come into my house one time, and I forget the sensor. It's like a L shape. It goes into the HVAC system. One of the things he told me, he says, before you call me, take that out. Use some, he said, aluminum foil or a sand pad, and just sand it down. And then, because it's dirty. Most of the time it's dirty. I mean, it's small fixes like that sometimes, correct?
With that, you can almost do it too much, and then it ruins it. So we try to prevent recommending that, because you need a subtle touch on it, and then if you go too hard, it won't work. I always say, make sure. This is the simplest one, that the switch on your furnace is turned on.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll be working in your basement and you hit it and it goes. You don't even realize it happened. Changing your filter, checking your thermostat, making sure that the batteries are good. Yeah. Those are pretty easy things that homeowners can do themselves. To check if the furnace is out.
Or you could be down there with the kids, and they marvel at the up and down, and then they somehow.
My niece did it multiple times, where she would turn it off. My sister would call with no heat.
It's not like I got experience with that I called out an HVAC, and he said, "Oh, I see your problem." Flick, turned it on, and voila, it turned on.
Yeah.
But Dayna, you've been a strong voice for young people in Detroit exploring skilled trades. Is there any connection or nexus between the energy issue with the need for more HVAC technicians right here at home?
I mean, I think it really comes down to we need more people just entering the skilled trades. You know, for every 5 retiring, 2 are coming in. So there's a huge, huge gap, a labor gap that's happening right now in all of the skilled trades. So if we could just find those people that are kind of lost and need some kind of direction and want a career, that's really what we need to advocate for.
Yeah, because I know a lot of the energy companies are looking to bring in more young people to work the lines and things of that nature, and they just simply can't find them.
Actually, one of I had a woman in our office. She graduated high school, and that's what she did. She went to go work for DTE and work on the electrical line. So it's pretty cool to see, that, even though she chose not to go in HVAC, I was trying to push her. Yeah. She chose something in the skilled trade. So,
I know that a lot of different states have a lot of assistant programs or credits. Are there any programs out there that you know of? Since you work so closely in this field, are there any assistance programs that people should know about? And do you know where they can find those assistance programs?
For like gas.
Yeah, gas. If they need assistance with their bills, because
I would reach out to your county. Yeah. I know Macomb County, Wayne County, they have programs available for people in need, and they even help with if something goes wrong with the furnace. There's programs available that you can reach out to them, and they'll get you a contractor, an assistant to get your heat back on.
Now, I always love to, especially when people are looking to give young people a new skill. How can people get involved in the skilled trades? Is there a website that people can go to? Do you have any links on your website where people can? Because these are some very lucrative jobs. And
yes, they are.
And what are the qualifications? What if a young person is listening to this show right now, and they're saying, "Hey, I need to do something better with my life." How could you lead them to a better quality of life too?
Sure. I always go back to there's just the willingness to learn and being humble and going into it with an open mind. In terms of assistance, I know that like for veterans, there is, training funds available for them. And I know there's some available for everything. I would reach out to Dorsey, Northwestern Tech. I know that they have Macomb Community College. They have people in their office that can lead people into the direction to help find, those programs that can get them into that career.
Yeah. When you think about the coming rate increases, because people may just be joining the show, as you think about what's one piece of advice for Metro Detroit families heading into this winter, one thing to do or understand, if you had to tell the listening audience, what would that be?
I mean, I would really get that programmable thermostat or that Wi-Fi thermostat, have a program run every day. So if you're not in the home, it's not utilizing your furnace and that gas bill, make sure that, you're keeping your air vents clear, that you're, just doing those simple things that you can do to offset that cost.
Yeah. And Dayna, what's the website of CNC Heating and Air Conditioning if somebody's looking for you guys to come out and do those checks and the maintenance checks?
It's cncheat.com.
Oh, that's simple. CNC. Now say it again. And you guys have social. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you guys have social media?
Yes.
Oh, what is it?
Yep, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn.
Well, Dayna Hottle, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning because sometimes, I mean, when you get that unexpected rate increase, it's sometimes hard to juggle between bills and medicine, especially if you're a senior citizen. So I want to thank you so much for coming on and giving the people some tips on how to better prepare for it because they know it's coming. So to help them prepare for this rate increase, I want to thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
All right, she's Dayna Hottle. She's the general manager of CNC Heating and Air Conditioning in Metro Detroit. You're listening to Detroit's Morning Answer. We'll be right back.